Hi guys, so I wanted to quickly explain how JobKeeper works and how to apply for it if you're a sole trader. If you're running a business and you have employees or you're a company trust or a partnership, it changes a bit. So this tutorial doesn't really help you. You can probably get a bit of an understanding of it, but the forms are a bit different and the process is a bit different. So it's best that you wait for the tutorial when it comes to businesses with employees. So first step with a sole trader, what you need to do is actually check if you meet the eligibility test, which is the turnover test. So the first step is actually jumping onto a spreadsheet or looking over your bank statements or looking over your accounting software that you use. You may be using Xero, QuickBooks or MRB. What you need to do is just determine the income that you've made last year in 2019. So for example, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Those are the months that you can compare it to the 2020 year to see if the income has dropped by 30%. So in this case here, I've got a client of mine, I've looked over their income and I've actually got this income from their bank statements. So I went into their bank statements. If you're a sole trader, more than likely you don't always have accounting software. You don't have the luxury of spending money on and have the luxury of updating accounting software. I understand. So best thing you need to do is just go over your bank statements and look at your income. So check out the deposits that have been made by clients, add that up. And for this client, it looks like in April, May, they had a significant amount of income. In 2020 year, the months have actually been quite high. So you would notice that you didn't see it here, but March, February and January were quite significant amounts. And the reason being is because the business has been booming and they've been doing well. But once coronavirus hit, look at his income here. So he's actually dropped. And I know this says forecast, but we've actually checked because now it's April. His income from March went from 10 grand and now he says that he will probably forecast at making around 5 grand this quarter. So is this client eligible? So what you do is you do work out what the 30% drop is. So 30% drop is you just need to work out 8,348 times 70%. So in this case here, 70% of the April month from 2019, which symbolizes the 30% drop, is 5,800. So in this case here, if he believes that he's going to be making 5K, in the April month, he's actually going to be meeting the forecast of drop of 30%, which means that he meets the 30% turnover test. In this case here, then he can just apply. As a sole trader, you don't need to fill out any forms. You don't need to fill out the employee nomination form, and you also don't need to fill out the employer nomination form. So those forms look like this. If you're interested in seeing it, this is what it looks like. Yeah, so these forms aren't needed to be filled out. These are only for businesses that are for a partnership, a shareholder, a director. So sole traders do not need to fill this form out. So what I need to do is just fill out the form on the ATO. So next step here is quite simple. So you log on to your business portal, you go to JobKeeper Enroll. Then the next step after that is you go into to enroll business for JobKeeper wage subsidy. So enroll, and you don't need to do, just for your information, we don't need to fill out step 2 because there are no employees because you're a sole trader. If you do have employees and you're a sole trader, then you do need to fill out the employee nomination form. But and then you also need to do step 2 when it's available after the 4th of May. But in this case here, just fill out this form here. It's registration form. So the next steps after that is to fill out the forms, and you just need to answer these questions. So we've just did the test and we know that April is going to be the month that there's going to be a 30% drop. Just so you know, it doesn't have to be April. It could be May, June, July, August, and September. And I know sometimes it's very hard to forecast. Just have your best guess on what the income is. We can always revise it after and notify the ATO if the income drop is another month. So don't freak out. And then the next question is, has your turnover for the entity for the selected month or quarter is likely to fall by 30%? Yes, that is correct. So we're just confirming it, yes it will. And then he answers this question, number of JobKeeper eligible employees paid during April. So this is talking about employees that are eligible, and as a sole trader, you don't need to fill this part out. So you don't need to count yourself as an employee. So you can keep this as 0, and you keep this as 0, and then you just enroll as an employee. So now you just have to follow these requirements and make sure you meet all these requirements. You're actively engaged in the business, your ABN you had the ABN on the 12th of March, you're 16 or over, you're not currently receiving any of parental leave pay, you're not totally incapacitated for work, and you are Australian resident within the section of, yep, so you're Australian resident and you are not an employee of another entity. So this is one that you have to be careful of. So if you're a sole trader and you also work for someone else, you can't claim the JobKeeper payment as a sole trader. You have to go to the employer that has employed you and then make them pay the JobKeeper payment and make them register themselves. So sole traders that are also employed by someone else cannot get the JobKeeper payment. Just to be clear there, make sure that you get your employer that has employed you to apply for the JobKeeper payment. So they also want to make sure that you've lodged any tax returns for last year, so they kind of know what your income is, so they can check. So make sure that you've lodged your income tax return or done some sort of BASs or activity statements to show the income that the ATO is currently going to check with. Alright, so last step is to fill out the bank account details and put in your contact details. So that you just need to put in your BSB account name and account number and contact details. You can put your accountant or you can put yourself. If your accountant's filling this out for you, then the accountant will take care of this for you. So once you're done with that, you just submit it, and then you have to wait till the 4th of May. And after that, you'll have to report your income on a monthly basis with the tax office. The tax office may ask for more information that regarding your JobKeeper, but currently that's pretty much what you need to fill out. And then on a monthly basis, you will need to update your monthly turnover as well as forecasted turnover. There may be changes to it, so you'll have to record that. If you had employees, as a sole trader, there will be a bit more sections that you need to fill out. You need to put in your employees' information as well as what wages you paid them. And on a monthly basis, update that as well. So a bit more information if you're a sole trader and you employ someone else. But that's about it, guys. So good luck. Let me know if there's any other questions. I'll try my best to answer all of them as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.